All right, let's turn now to a top trending ticker here on Yahoo Finance. A top story that we're watching, that's ASML. Shares of the chip supplier are falling. You're looking at losses of nearly 8% in extended trading on the move lower on reports of tighter export restrictions are overshadowing a surge in bookings. The company also out with earnings results before the bell. Now, ASML is not the only chip maker in the red today. Reports of those tighter export curbs pushing China chip giants, including NVIDIA, AMD, and Taiwan Semiconductor lower here this morning. So here with more, we want to bring in Jos Versteeg. He is InsingerGillissen's a senior analyst. Jos, it's great to talk to you again. So let's just take a step back, because when you take a look at these earnings results that we got from ASML, clearly a lot to be excited about just in terms of demand and the numbers that they put up the most recent quarter. But the geopolitical risk is overshadowing that. I'm curious what the implications of these reports, what that ultimately means here for ASML.
Well, actually, I don't think that the implications are so bad for ASML. When you look at China semiconductor manufacturing, they're producing mainly low-end chips. And the US wants them to keep on producing low-end chips because the world needs it. And they want to stop them or not be able to make high-end chips because they can use it for artificial intelligence. And some years ago, there was a very interesting report from the National Security led by Schmidt. And it was said that the US should prevent China from becoming better and better in AI, because who is the best in AI will win the next war. So it's quite serious for the US to stop China developing artificial intelligence, and so to deprive them from the high-end chips. But they're not producing it so much yet. So I don't think the implications are very, very strong for ASML.
The market strongly disagrees with you, it would seem, this morning. What do you think the disconnect is?
Well, the ASML was up, 30, 40% this year. When you invest in these kind of tech companies, you can get a very, very, very nice performance. But now and then there's a rainy day, and that's the way I see it. So just from the beginning of the year, you're still in a big profit. So I actually don't worry about it. And I'm used to it. Sometimes it's bad, sometimes, most of the time is good, but there are some rainy days there. So I'm absolutely not worried there.
Yes, I'm curious how you think ASML balances the threat here of further export controls from U.S., and then also just balancing that with the need, just in terms of the fact that it's so critical to their business to sell gear here to China. How do they balance that? What, I guess, do you think those discussions are like right now?
Well, yeah, that's difficult to say because they don't want to say anything about the geopolitical things. But when you look at the revenue, 50% of the revenue in the second quarter came from China. But that was heavily distorted by the fact that there were very few expensive machines sold to Taiwan. So it was distorted. When you look at the order portfolio, China is way more smaller. Maybe it's 10% or something. So that's also a very important part of ASML. Another thing is they still sell machines like the NXT 1980. That's a machine with a value of about 60, 70 million. And that is still allowed. And I think the US will keep on, will make it possible for ASML to still keep selling that machine because it's important for more lower middle end chips. So there's still a lot of market for ASML in China, but only not in the high end. And you know, half of the factories in China, they are foreign companies. So when they don't get the machines anymore, they go back to their own country, to Taiwan or India or Vietnam or America. And the other half is just Chinese companies. And they keep on producing these mature nodes, these low-end chips, because we need them for the car manufacturers, for all kinds of electronics. So the effect is, it's a pity that they can't sell these machines anymore to China, because it was in the future, it could be a nice, interesting market, but the market is so big. When you look, we see big developments like electronification, artificial intelligence, the energy transition. There's a big market there. When the whole semiconductor market will double in the coming years to 1 billion a year. So there's a lot of growth there, and ASML has a perfect position there. I'm absolutely not worried, and it's just the normal volatility you get once in a while.
Really quickly, I want to talk to you about this interview that former President Trump gave to Bloomberg Business Week. And in it, he talked about cooling the relationship with Taiwan and the protectionism the U.S. has over Taiwan. What impact could that have on chips, particularly as we do see tensions ratcheting up in the South China Sea?
Yes, it's not smart to say that, but I think it's positive for ASML because there are more and more companies or more and more countries who want to have their own semiconductor production. So it will be more widespread, not only focused in Taiwan, but also we see that there are 3 fabs from TSMC in Arizona in the US, but there will be more pressure to build more factories outside of Taiwan. So there will be, in the long run, there will be a little bit maybe overcapacity. But in the short run, it's absolutely not bad for ASML.